to the Boys in Gold podcast. I am Ricky.
I'm Jordan.
And we are back. We've been out for a long time.
Only 6 months.
Yeah. We didn't even finish the Leagues Cup.
I don't think we even started the Leagues Cup.
Oh.
Our last episode was against DC, which was July 1st.
So one of the reasons why we started recording is I think that we said it at the episode before we stopped. It was just I had just had a baby.
What it was we had recorded in episode 16, but you had a second child. I moved into a new apartment, and so I never got around to having the time to edit it or anything, and so it never got posted.
Yeah, and it seemed like the leagues games were like on weird nights, so it was kind of like
Leagues Cup started right after we kind of fell out of recording for a little bit, so they were coming really fast, and we had decided during the competition, like, we're just gonna do a full competition thing once it's over. But then we made it all the way to the final, and so there was never a break.
Yeah, and then we just didn't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can give a quick recap right now. We went through we went through the group stages. I think we were second out of three.
Yeah. Toluca topped our group. We finished second, and Colorado bottom.
Yeah, and then we had somebody home. Who was it? Was it America?
Our first game out of the group stage was at Cincinnati.
At Cincinnati, okay.
Which we won on penalties.
Yeah, that one was a close one. It was not like the red card showdown that we had.
No.
I think a few weeks before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we came back from that. We were able to go through the Leagues Cup in a very good, decent way.
Decent. That's the best this team's ever looked.
Right. No, I guess I was saying as far as like cards, I guess I was still like, we were just in the red cards from back, so many red cards before.
We were in a bit of a red card pandemic right before the Leagues Cup started.
Yeah. And then, we entered the Leagues Cup, and we just got into that stride and just went for it. I mean, we went to Cincinnati and beat them in penalties. We came back, I think, to Club America, and even though that was a really sketchy match to be at, we weren't there. I think our friend Jesse was there.
Jesse was there, yeah. Yeah,
and as soon as it was done, I was like, get out of there. Just make sure that you don't die.
Yeah, especially after that finish. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. They do the whole penalty thing.
This match goes 2-2 in the 99th minute. Surge.
Yeah, because of Surge.
Scores.
Yeah.
Was it his debut? That was his debut. I think.
Yeah. He came in.
Scored a header off of a Hani cross and tied us up in like the 99th minute after they had gotten a 92nd minute penalty.
Yep.
And then penalties. Boy, do we have. That was still. I mean, obviously, we'll get to why, but I was gonna say it's still my favorite match that we've ever played because it's just chaos, and then the second half of the season is one to forget. So we'll get to that in a minute, but
we had who was it? I think it was Mayer missing the last one. There was one.
Mayer's was saved.
Yeah, we had one save earlier. I think it was the second or third one, and then
it was the first one. Hani's got saved.
Yes, Hani's, and then Mayer's got saved, but then some guys from some supporters from America, I guess, came onto the field.
Yeah, a couple. It wasn't a whole lot, but a handful of
like
Club
6
America
or 7
fans had ran out onto the field, and while that was going on, there was a VAR check going on.
Yeah, but they didn't tell ananybody. It was just like
they told the players because all the players stayed on the field, but they didn't announce it or anything. And so, like you said, we didn't go. So I was online, like just checking everybody's reaction to the match on Reddit and Twitter and stuff. and the people in the live thread on Reddit were like, "Wait, it's being called back." And I'm like,
Oh.
I had to pull the stream back up. Like, what's going on?
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Dude. So yeah, the Club America keeper came off of his line, which I think they looked back. Like, people have since looked back, and he actually came off on the first save too.
Yeah. But they didn't call it.
came off the line on the final save, and so it had to be retaken, which Mayer scored his. And then on their next attempt, they, I think, hit the crossbar.
Yeah, they hit the crossbar. But I mean, we gotta say something about Panico, because it's not only that they missed that one or whatever, but he was guessing like every single time. He was on it. He did great throughout the whole Leagues Cup and everything. Yeah. And then they subbed him in for the penalties.
At first, he was being subbed in for penalties, like against Cincinnati. He got subbed in for penalties, and then I think it happened again against Club America. He got subbed in at the end for penalties. But then after that, they're like, I mean, he's on a hot streak. You got to keep playing him.
Yeah, he did it. Yep.
And so he stayed all the way to the final. And so we beat Club America, and then after that we had was that Minnesota?
Yeah, and that was just I think they got a red card, and then we just went 4-5-0.
They got an early red, and then we beat them 5-0. Yeah.
Yeah, 5-0. That was ridiculous.
That was, ridiculous. I don't know how else to put it, but
I mean, the whole time I was thinking, oh boy, they're gonna come back. But then we scored again, and then they scored again, and then we scored. I mean, we scored again. Like we were like 2-0, and then I was like, well, I mean, 2-0 is kind of scary, yeah. Then 3-0, I was like, okay, wait a minute, and then 4 or 5-0, I was like, okay, we're good, we're good.
I remember at the tailgate, I jokingly predicted 7-0.
Right, it was pretty close.
And then like our fourth one goes in, still in the first half, and I'm like, oh, this might happen.
Yeah.
But which, I mean, that performance alone, like, is obviously you see 5-0 and you're like, oh, you played great, but something I don't think is talked about when looking at that Leagues Cup run. Obviously the Club America game comes up all the time, but Minnesota was on fire in that tournament. Like, I think they were the highest scoring team in the Leagues Cup at that point, or something like that. So to go not only put 5 past them, but keep a clean sheet was nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And they, like you said, they were in form, and I think that for them it was mostly like just a red card, and they were just kind of it almost looked like they gave up. So I was like, that I felt
definitely had a big effect on the game.
Yeah. So I mean that was a pretty straightforward game. 5-0. And then we had Rayados here. Monterrey came over here, and we scored the first one, and we kept a clean sheet on that one as well, right?
Yeah, 2-0.
It was 2. Yeah, the second one we scored, and immediately, like, even on the highlights, you were showing me the video. Looking back at it, there we were chanting, "We won Messi."
Yeah, we were watching back highlights the other night. You would come over to watch the
Messi game.
The Miami El Salvador preseason match, which was a snooze fest, except for how awesome El Salvador's keeper was. Right. But we just started watching like random highlights from Leagues Cup and throughout last season and stuff. Yeah, because after Fafa scored, and we were just like, there's not a time yet that has been more fun to be a Nashville fan than the Leagues Cup run. Like going into this season with like the whole Open Cup stuff that's going on, and how their MLS is trying to abandon the Open Cup in favor for the Leagues Cup. So there's a bit of discourse around the Leagues Cup and everything, but I thought it was fun, but that might be because we did so well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I did enjoy it's just fun facing other teams besides MLS clubs,
Yeah,
so
I mean, even
getting a chance to
if
face,
it was just Mexico.
Yeah, getting a chance to face 3 Mexican teams, 2 of them being like 2 of the big dogs in Mexico, was a lot of fun. Which, I mean, now we're in the Champions Cup, and so we've got more chances to face more foreign teams. Like we've got Mocha from Dominican Republic,
Yeah.
On February 22nd, I think, is the first one. I had it pulled up.
Yeah, the 22nd.
Yeah, the 22nd is the first round in Dominican Republic, and then a week later in Nashville. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, it's on the 28th here. Yep.
And then our season opener is sandwiched in between that against New York Red Bulls.
Yeah, that'll be fun. 3 games in a row just to start it out.
But yeah, that final was Leagues Cup final. A lot of people would like kill to see Messi play live.
Oh yeah,
and I think we talked about this when you were over for the El Salvador thing, because so many people were still pulling for the game was in El Salvador, and so many people were chanting Messi, and there were Messi shirts everywhere, and I was just like, man, I don't get it. Like, yeah, obviously it's cool seeing one of the best players, arguably of all time. Well, not arguably arguably the best player of all time.
Yeah.
Playing in person. I get that. It was cool seeing him play live, but if he's facing my team, I'm not cheering for him.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell him he sucks, even if he's the best player of all time.
Oh, yeah. I remember on Facebook, people were like, yeah, how about we don't chant he sucks? I'm like, no.
It was all over Twitter, too. It wasn't Nashville fans saying it, but it was like journalists and stuff. It was like, you can't boo Messi. He's the greatest. I'm like, yeah, I can. Watch me.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
That's the point of it being in Nashville.
Yeah.
To have a 12th man. But yeah, I mean, I knew it wasn't just going to be just a straight up home game. I don't think any game against Miami is ever going to be an away game for them anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Now that they have the old Barcelona.
Oh my gosh.
So they have yet to score, by the way. Like
that makes me so happy.
we're watching all this preseason, and of course, preseason is preseason. That doesn't really mean anything. But these are just scrimmages that they're doing, like exhibition matches against an entire country, El Salvador. And then they went to Dallas and they got scored on.
They lost to Dallas.
Yeah, and I don't know who else they're going against, but I mean the fact that they're scoreless is kind of telling, but also not, just because again it's preseason, so it's
not everyone's fully fit yet. Suarez is never going to be fit again, but
for sure. I saw him try. I saw him try to get the ball. It was one of those through balls. I don't think that he could even. I mean, like the defender was there, miles ahead of him. Like I don't know what they're trying to do with him that far up. Like he's a good player and everything, but you can't do a through ball. I mean, he's not going to get there.
He was I don't know if legacy signing is the right term to use here, but it's like, hey, he was great with Messi when they were playing in Barcelona 10 years ago. Right.
And I'm sure that he's still,
but you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's still a good player, and he was playing for his what is that, boyhood club or whatever you call it?
Gremio,
Gremio.
However it's pronounced.
Yeah, so he was playing for them and he was scoring over there. So it's not like he doesn't know how to score anymore. He can score, and he's still going to be, a dangerous player. It's just that with the players that we have here and the fitness level that MLS has, at least, it's going to be pretty hard for him to score or to outrun people. So he's going to be more like I guess it would be like a Teal Bunbury for them, like where he's trying to hold up the ball and trying to distribute the ball rather than going forward.
Not the way he's used to playing.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, MLS is a very physical league, but I mean, he's coming from the Brazilian league. Yeah. Like, do you know how many games they play a season? It's ridiculous.
They play a lot. Yeah.
So like, maybe it's because of how worked he was down there or something. Maybe he will end up being better up here than he was in Brazil. But I mean, when those reports started coming out that he gets injections like daily or something just to walk,
yeah,
without pain, like, I mean, why are you still playing professionally?
Yeah,
why are you still playing at all?
There's gonna come a point where he's gonna have to get a full knee replacement or whatever, and That's not going to be fun. I mean, after that, I'm sure that's retirement, right? You can't really play with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm sure that he's postponing it as much as possible. But, I mean, it's good for him that he's playing, you know. But anyway, we lost to Miami at the end of Leagues Cup. It was tough to see that.
Even though we lost it, like I'm not. Obviously, I'm upset that we didn't win a trophy and that Miami won a trophy before us and that they lifted the trophy in our stadium. Obviously, I'm upset by all that. But
yeah. But it came to the last, like, what was the 7 penalties? It was like
it went to 10.
It went to 10. So it went to all the way to the goalie. So it was the Panico.
11,
yeah, Panico was the one that took the shot, and I mean, you can't. That's tough.
Yeah, it can't be. He is the one that, quote unquote, lost the game for us, but I mean, he kept us alive. So
yeah,
like the loudest I have ever screamed, like just being in the stands for this for Nashville, was after it was at the point where all they had to do was score and it was over, because like it was at the end of the first best of 5 and we had already missed one. Like, I think Leal's got saved or he missed the goal or something. I don't remember. Leal didn't score his. And so going into the 5th round, it was 4-4. And so they just had to score theirs, and then it was over.
Yeah.
And Panico saved that one and kept us alive for another 5 rounds. That's the loudest I've ever screamed, I think, for in general.
Yeah, I mean, he kept us in the whole time, so even if it was the last one to go, he's still, like, he's the reason that we were there. So
absolutely,
there's nothing against him.
But yeah, he's not there to score penalties. Yeah. So I doubt he ever takes penalties, even in like training, because that's not a common thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, regardless of the result, I'm still we had no business even reaching the final. Like, if you look at our MLS run before and after the Leagues Cup, we had no reason to be there.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we even got there and secured a CCL or CCC now, I guess, that we got a Champions Cup position for that performance, I think that's good enough. Like, obviously, I'd rather have won a trophy, but can't be upset.
Yeah, and so after that, we just had a slump. We couldn't win. We just tied and lost.
Yeah. Back to the league. I remember we lost our very next game to Atlanta 4-0.
Yeah,
very very bad performance in general. But after that high run in the Leagues Cup, confidence was very high. Like you said, in the Monterrey game, we were chanting, "We want Messi," because we were like, we can beat anyone right now. And then we get knocked 4-0 against Atlanta the very next league match. And it took me, because even the rest of the season we won only 2 matches for the rest of the season, counting playoffs. And that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 games, counting the 2 playoff, the best of 3 playoff rounds against Orlando. We only won 2 of our last 12 games.
And that's the thing too. We went to Orlando and lost, and then came back over here and lost. It was weird. I mean, we had never seen Nashville so down like that.
Yeah, but because I remember I had done a lot of thinking about that. I was like, what happened? Because we were doing really bad in the league before the break for Leagues Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And then our first Leagues Cup match, we beat Colorado 2-1. And then we lost to Toluca 4-3, which, we lost, but that's a high-scoring game, so that was kind of a back-and-forth, anyone could have taken it thing. And then we got lucky to slide past Cincinnati. Kind of got lucky against Club America again with the penalty, but that we fought to even take it to penalties was good. And then we crushed Minnesota, outperformed Monterrey, which there's an argument with Monterrey there about how much they had traveled, because they had just played in LA right before that. So, and then the Miami thing. So that, looking at how good we did in the Leagues Cup and then how bad we were in MLS before and after. I was like, because I had said like that other MLS coaches just figured Gary out, and so everybody was able to like shut us down and score on us and had basically no issues with the tactics that we ran. And I was thinking, well, maybe we did so well in Leagues Cup because, you know, we faced 3 Mexican teams. They're not going to be used to our style.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like I said, the Toluca one was a high scoring one. We kind of scraped past Club America, and then Monterrey, again, it's arguable about their fitness levels. So
yeah,
it may just be a tactical issue, which I do think that's a big part of it, is the tactics, because, you know, the first part of the season we switched to that diamond formation and we were flying high. We were in the supporter shield race for a while there.
Yeah.
And then we dropped to 7th by the end of the season. And so I'm hoping, because Gary's come out and said that there are going to be tactical changes this season. He's not going to explain what, just that we should be able to watch the team and see that there has been a change, and that if you can't notice a change, then he hasn't done his job. And so
that's very important.
Yeah, so after the disaster of a majority of last season, I'm hoping to God that it's something good, like that it's a positive change, like not just for results, but positive as in the style of play that we see, because we play very what's considered negative, so just defensive.
Yeah,
we've always been a defensive team. We've got one of, if not the best defense in the league. The last couple of seasons I don't remember if we had the fewest conceded or like tied fewest conceded, but we were like up there for least amount of goals conceded. I'm hoping to see from these preseason games like positive changes. I'm hoping, like, Surridge didn't, like, he was huge during Leagues Cup, but didn't do a whole lot after that. He had that one game against was it New England, where he almost scored a hat trick, but his first goal was offside. Yeah,
he was there. I mean, he was dangerous, and he was pretty much what we need. But they were telling, people were saying that, well, he hasn't had enough time to get together with Mukhtar and have that chemistry or whatever, build that chemistry.
Yeah, and I do agree with that, because he has only been here for 6 months now. So
yeah, definitely better than Loba.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat after one match. Yeah, I think it was after the New England match when he scored 2.
Yeah,
that he had already scored more goals, more MLS goals for Nashville than Loba did in his 2 years here.
Right. Oh my goodness.
After one game.
Yeah.
Because I think Loba only scored 1. It was against Cincinnati, when that match that we had traveled to Cincinnati.
Yeah, where we beat them 6-3.
6-3. Yeah, I think he scored our 5th goal in that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. Anything is better than that. What we said before, I think, is we can only go up.
I wouldn't say that. We can definitely go down. I mean, all it takes is, I don't think it will happen, but all it would take is Mukhtar suddenly deciding he wants to go somewhere else, or yeah, like I said, I don't think it will.
Yeah,
that's not something I think will happen because of the foothold he has in the city now.
Yeah,
with his academy and all that. But you're saying we can only go up. I disagree.
Yeah,
we can crash and burn even worse than we already have.
Well, I guess, but
I don't think
we can only go up as far as Loba, that position,
oh, gotcha.
Just that, because it could happen where he gets hurt, if Sam Surridge gets hurt or something like that, but hopefully not. But that, then there would be a purpose, there would be a reason, right? With Loba, it was just unexplained. There was always he's not fit enough to start, and we're paying him all this money, and I never understood that. It was so weird that he never started. And I think he started maybe once or twice. I don't remember.
He had a handful, yeah.
But it was because somebody else was out. and that's just weird to me. Like somebody that's making so much money, the DP can't
it's your
start.
high priced, high paid DP.
Yeah,
just never playing.
yeah.
I remember. I don't remember who it was about, but there was some DP at a different club that was just not good or something. And so there were people talking on the MLS subreddit like, "Is this the worst DP in the league?" Yeah. I remember responding. I said, "Our DP striker just broke his foot while on loan in Mexico. What does that tell you?"
Yeah.
But yeah, glad to be past that.
Yeah.
So we talked about how terrible our season, second and third of the season, for lack of a better phrase there.
Yeah.
How terrible that was. What do you think about our moves so far in the postseason?
Well,
to hopefully fix that.
Yeah. Well, we let go of our second goal scorer, second most goal scoring, I guess, of our team, Fafa Pico. Mm-hmm. That was the weirdest move. I get that he's older, and I mean, he was kind of like the combo with Schaffelberg, but at the end of the season, we almost saw. I guess he was coming in later on in the game or something like that. I don't know if that was because of fitness or just because he can't run all. I mean, I get that he can't run the entire game. He's already older and all that stuff. But I mean, he's still pretty good, even if he was from the bench or something. I don't think that he was that expensive unless he wanted more.
He had a pretty high wage.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
So that's what I was gonna bring up. It was a why whenever it first came out that not only him but Dax was leaving. It was like I can understand Dax. He's getting up there in age, so it's not that shocking to see him go. I mean, if you've listened to Dax's podcast, the Major League Journeyman, since he left, then it is very shocking the things the process he said that happened there, which we'll talk about that in a minute since we're on Fafa right now. But Fafa, it was just like I can see Dax, but why Fafa? Because like you said, he was our second highest goal scorer, but at the same time, that was 5 goals.
Right.
We still heavily relied on Hani last season, even though he pretty much second half of the season had mostly disappeared, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wonder if he was
kind of ghosted quite a bit at the end of the season there.
He was scoring a lot in, he scored in the Leagues Cup and he scored also on the Open Cup. But he was
the beginning of last season. He the first quarter to a third of last season. There was already arguments that he was going to be a back-to-back MVP.
Yeah,
and just. I don't know. Just a lot of stuff happened in the middle of the season through the Leagues Cup and then the back part of the season where I think he only scored twice in the second half of the season or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I think it's got a lot to do with what you said too. The teams kind of figured it out, but
that's part of it for sure. But also, like you said, we got a new DP signing in Sam Surridge, and the chemistry's not quite there yet. It's gonna take some time to get that going consistently.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they've been using this offseason and preseason to build that chemistry with that and our other new signings, which we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah. But yeah, with Fafa, I saw a lot of people saying that it's kind of understandable because he was on a pretty high wage. I think he probably wanted what it was. I think I saw that he was that we had offered him another 1 year contract, but he wanted a longer one. He wants to settle somewhere basically, which I get that. But we are one of the oldest teams in the league as far as player age.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's definitely being, you can tell, kind of worked on with signings that we've made, such as Drew Yearwood and stuff like that. I mean, Tyler Boyd, he's 29, which not a lot younger, but it's still younger. And
younger than 30.
Right. I mean, it's not like an immediate drop off once you're 30, but
yeah. But how old was Fafa? 32 or 33?
I think he was 32.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of a.
He is 32.
32, yeah. So I mean, he's still got at least 2-3 years to go. So wherever he goes, I can see that, they'll get the most of it.
Yeah, but it was I've also seen people saying that they think he may have been. Again, this is just stuff I'm seeing online. This may not be true, but people saying they feel like he was very hot-headed, like they saw him yelling at players like our own teammates all the time.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
There may have been a not a good locker room presence or something there, which again, that's pure speculation. Could be wrong, but
yeah, that's. I think that he meshed with our players pretty well, but yeah, whatever happens in the locker room, we don't really get to hear it. I think he's in Vancouver right now, so we'll see how he does over there. I think that that move has more to do with the contract and the background of things rather than his performance, because he did great.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not performance based at all.
Yeah, I wonder if there was like something else in the contract. You know how we've been doing a lot of, depending on the performance, there's going to be there's going to be more money or something like that on the contract. I think that we did that with Tyler Boyd. Something about like specifics, like if he performs, then we'll pay you more.
Yeah, we signed him for cheap, and then he's got to hit certain like statistical milestones throughout the season, and then if he does, we'll owe Galaxy more.
Yeah. But, so maybe for that, but with Fafa contract, his contract was a little bit different. And yeah, I mean, maybe he wanted more money and also, or just to stay, but we were trying to move on. So, I mean, losing Dax in general, and we can go ahead and start talking about Dax, because that's such a loss right there. I thought that he was gonna retire here. He was doing the journeyman thing, and you can hear his side. Of course, we only hear his side. We don't hear the club side or anything either. But either way, like him doing such a great job in the Leagues Cup, they were in talks with him apparently as soon as that ended, that they were going to extend his contract and everything, and then just, I guess later on they was just like, no, we're not going to extend it or something like that. Just kind of cut him dry.
Yeah, you can go to Dax's podcast, Major League Journeyman. The episode is called "So Long, Partner," where he it's like the first 15 to 20 minutes he kind of discusses what went on there, because like you said, that after the Leagues Cup, he had I think Nashville had come to him and been like, started discussing a contract renewal or extension or whatever, because his contract was ending at the end of the season. And what they brought to him was essentially, it was another pay cut, in which he did kind of have some not so great performances last season. I think he himself said his worst performance in his entire career was against Orlando in the playoffs. Like, he admits that himself. That was the worst performance he thinks he's ever had. But he still was he was still rock solid in our midfield.
Yeah.
And midfield's an area that we've always had some issues with. Like, I mean, we've got, at the time had Dax. We had, of course, Godoy is kind of a mainstay for our starting 11 when he's fit, and Davis would kind of cycle in and out with Dax, but which they're all over 30. So that was always kind of the issue, was that we have a aging midfield. The only young midfielder we've got is Anunga, who isn't quite consistent enough to start consistently.
Yeah, but he's getting there though.
Oh yeah, he needs more time for sure. It's just at the time we need him, he's not ready at the moment. And so, but Dax was talking about, he's willing to take a pay cut, but like maybe not as big of one. And so he was like, negotiations started. He was like, can you do this? They countered. He countered, just went back and forth for a minute, and they were he said we were kind of reaching a point where we could tell, or he could tell that, yeah, we're gonna reach a decision. He was even telling other Nashville players, he's like, yeah, it's just a matter of time. I'll be back next season. No worries. Yeah. And then after the playoffs, they're just like, yeah, we're moving on. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's so weird.
So he got kind of blindsided by that, and now he's gone to a rival.
Yeah, he went to Atlanta. Let's see how he does over there.
I mean, it is kind of a fabricated rivalry with Atlanta, just because
he's right there,
geographically closest to us. So there's always going to be something there, just because of the closeness. But it is kind of fabricated. There's not an actual rivalry there. Not like USL we had with Cincinnati, and kind of what's building with Orlando now. I feel like they're probably gonna, which they have Miami is gonna be a main rival, and so we're in a weird spot where we have rivals, but they have bigger rivals than us, and so I don't know. But yeah, it was a thing where I doubt he intentionally went to a rival. It was just oh, Atlanta's pretty good. He himself is in again, you can listen to that episode of their podcast where he talks about it, but that's a good squad. He wants, of course, you're a player, you want to win trophies. Right. So he went to, of what he had available, the squad he thought stood the best chance of winning trophies, which Atlanta's understandable.
Yeah.
So can't really hold it against him.
I'd be interested to see who else offered. But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, if unless he was doing it on purpose, I doubt it. I mean, that's not a thing that you can do.
No, you can tell. Like I said in his episode, I listened to the first 15-20 minutes because people. Yeah. I hadn't kept up with it, but people were saying that he talks about it, and so I checked it out just to see what he had to say. And he was very adamant about making sure he was to the Nashville fans that he still loved the team and the city and the fans and everything. It was just a business issues with the front office and everything.
Right. Yeah, that's understandable. I really hope that there wasn't anything like a ball dropped or something in the front office or whatever, because that's a really good player to lose, especially, I mean, if he was willing to take the cut and everything. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, losing Dax, even though I know Zimmerman has been the captain, definitely this past year he was a captain, but then he was hurt and all that, but he definitely
Dax
took
was
over
no longer our first choice captain, but
right.
He was still our first captain,
Yeah, and he was still the voice in the locker room. I mean, you always hear players talking about that and everything. So it's just losing that and it's gonna be. We need to find somebody kind of like that, I guess, like a leader. I mean, I know Zimmerman is the leader, but just having people like that help your team so much. Get your head up and everything. Forget about the losses and go for whatever. Yeah, it's a big loss with Dax McCarty, but we wish him the best, and I'm sure that he will do great at Atlanta. Hopefully they give him time and everything to play.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's not. Whenever Atlanta comes to Nashville this season, I'm hoping we treat it like we did with Johnston when he went to Montreal. Yeah, we will. Because they chant whenever they're announcing the opposing team's lineups, they'll say the name and then we chant sucks.
Right.
But with Johnston, we cheered because he was a former player and one of our better ones, I think, before we sold him.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm sure
that's not that people don't say he sucks whenever he comes back.
Yeah, I think the people that know and have been, with Nashville for a while, they would know, and then they would definitely cheer. But yeah, anyway, so those were the players that left, and the players that we got so far, we've gotten.
Well, there was a couple others. That was the highest, like.
Oh,
profile.
yeah.
Like
Hawkinson,
Hawkinson, he's now signed with San Antonio USL.
Yeah.
And then Zubac went somewhere.
He just went somewhere. Man, I had so much like high hopes for Zubac. It's sad to see him go. He's with Orange County.
But yeah, that's all the big profile ones that we've lost as far as I can remember.
Well, in the middle of the season, we lost Greg Rush.
We had him for like 4 months.
Yeah, he did fine, and he seemed like a promising replacement for Dax, even though he's 32. But he went to Minnesota, I think, and he did pretty good
back
over
to
there.
Minnesota.
Yeah, back to Minnesota. So the signings that we had Tyler Boyd from LA Galaxy. We got Mackenzie Gaines from Charlotte. Yeah, I mean it's really interesting to see all these players and getting new faces in. I think one of the things that Gary said that surprised me was that we don't have. How did he say? He said something like, with the people that we have a full team. If we brought somebody in, that means that somebody has to get out. We have to leave somebody out. So that's very interesting. I thought that we had at least 3 more signings, but I guess that's just wishful thinking, I guess, on my part. Maybe for depth, maybe. But I'm glad that we have the people that we have. It seems like Gary's happy with them. I saw the interview that Zimmerman posted as well. He says something like, we have the new faces here, and we're going to start, training and everything, and we'll see if they stick around after the physical check or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know if he's talking to one specific person or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up with, we talked a little about the people we brought in and everything. What are your hopes for this coming season? Just as far as who you'd like to see get playing time, or maybe different tactics, or what?
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely Sipic. I've been looking forward to that signing since last year, and I thought that we were going to see him in the Leagues Cup. We were going to try. I thought that they were going to try or something, but that didn't happen. I think they said just in general that he was going to start straight up like this year. They were not going to use him last year. So even after the bad runs that we had at the end of the year, we could have tried something different or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, seeing Sipic would be good. I feel like our team in general is ready for a team for a cup. We won silverware. We want to win trophies. That's what one of the things that Zimmerman said, and I mean, pretty much everybody has been saying that. So, yeah, bring them on.
Yeah, the thing with Sipic, I forget which one of the other Nashville podcasts. I forget which one. They did an interview with Mike Jacobs. And they brought something up about like Huntsville and the academy and stuff, and unfortunately I think he made a pretty good point with it, in that Huntsville is still new. This is only their second season coming up or something.
Yeah.
And of course our academy is new as well, so it's you can't really rush these things. You can't expect results day one. It's something that's got to build up over time.
Yeah.
And so it may take some time before we're seeing some young academy guys actually making a dent in our first team. But yeah, I'd like to see more youth, and I've like signing Drew Yearwood. I think is a good step in the right direction, even if he's the guy that kicked the ball into the stands and hit somebody in the face last season. But
that's what he's known for. That's his legacy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If he was retiring, that's all he's known for.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, he is still young. I think he's what, 24, I think.
Yeah,
somewhere around that. So I mean, that he's got time to like work that out, essentially, like to mature more and everything. So hopefully that happens while he's here, and hopefully Sam and Honey get some chemistry built up, and we can just see some more attacking soccer than we're used to seeing from Nashville this season.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I meant to say earlier, and I'm sure from last time too, we stopped doing the through balls to Schafferberg or to Pico close to the end of the season. I don't know if it was something that they figured out, like, hey, give them some space because these guys are going to run you over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I would like to see more. Just kind of like sneaky attacks that we had, and we just get through, just breaking those lines and everything. Maybe we'll see more of that with Honey having a little bit more free time, not having to carry the team, and having Sam at the top tearing it up. So
yeah. Hopefully having Sam and Tyler Boyd and all that. Hopefully we've got more than just Honey. When it comes to attacking, because that was our first 3.5 seasons here in MLS. So
yeah, and not only that, but having Hani where he's supposed to be, rather than carrying the ball all the way from the defense all the way to the front, because that's another thing that they said about Drew Yearwood, that he would be able to dribble the ball up and distribute it up there, at least carrying it forward, just because we had that disconnection, and then we would feel like we were just booting it up there and just like hope for the best, rather than do a few passes here and there. Our passes were not accurate, and things would just fall apart quickly. So that's something that I would like to see from Nashville, just to see a better movement of the ball and distributing it better up top to people who can score.
Yeah, and hopefully there's more ambition than just qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah, no, and it seems like it now. They're very they're speaking up about that a lot. So I mean, that's always seemed like it's just been a Gary thing. Like he's okay with it as long as we qualify for the playoffs. I mean, I'm not saying like he's not trying to win. So obviously, if you're in that position, you're gonna try to win. Like there's no reason not to. But yeah, almost like he doesn't want to lose by a lot.
It's just it always feels like as long as we qualify for the playoffs, he thinks we've had a successful season, and I don't agree with that.
No, we gotta keep going.
Because like outside of Leagues Cup last season, I don't think we had a successful season, even though we made it to the playoffs. But that's because we were, like I said, at one point, like pushing Cincy for the Shield. They stayed on. Lucho Acosta had a season to remember, and we just collapsed completely down to 7th place. Yeah,
that's very sad to see that, just throwing away the first half of the season. And I mean, the Leagues Cup was just the top of everything. It seemed like we were going to continue after that, but it would just never kick back up. So let's start fresh again. Hopefully we see a good showing and a good like the team that wants to win the CCC and get the Shield and try to get the MLS as well, all that stuff.
I hope we take the Champions Cup seriously.
But one of the things about that too, and just really quickly on that, is that it's Dominican Republic. Usually people send their B team to their home and then just try to stay fit for the MLS season or whatever. I don't think that we should address it that way. I think that we should go over there planning to use at least using everybody that we can at the beginning, and then subbing in subbing out people like Mukhtar or whatever if we want to keep them from getting hurt or whatever. Like actually trying, having our best team that we can over there and our best team that we can over here to make sure that we go forward.
It becomes a fitness thing. And I mean, you look at Seattle, the season that they won the Champions Cup, 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
They did awful in MLS that season just because they were stretched so thin.
Yeah.
Stretched so thin with the amount of games they had to play. And so that's kind of why this is a double-edged sword being in this competition. Well, it's not the right.
Yeah.
Not the right phrase, but you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, we also saw it with LA FC last year. I guess in this past season, they went for it and they got all the way up to the finals, but they weren't able to, to get the last game. And if you look at their MLS season, you could see that slump right there. And then once
that's what I'm saying. I used Seattle as the example because LAFC still made MLS Cup, the final.
The final, yeah. I guess that, yeah.
So, but they've got the squad depth if they're able to do it.
Yeah, they have the depth for sure. Yeah.
I don't know if we've got the depth to run 4 competitions if we're still doing Open Cup, which I don't know if that's still happening or if I don't know. I hope it does. I like the Open Cup, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that's something else there. But all right. Well, thank you for being with us and catching up.
Been recording for over an hour. So
yeah, thank you for coming back, and hopefully we can continue this year, and we'll try to have things going every week.
We're gonna try to have a more not a specific schedule, but a more consistent kind of schedule. Like we're gonna try to record the same day every week, and then I'll try to have it up within a day or two. It's just a matter of when games are being played, because originally it was just, hey, we played a game, let's record an episode about it. But then it was like, oh, we're playing 3 games this week, let's just wait and do all 3 in one.
And then we didn't.
Yeah, so we're going to try to do it, be more consistent, and we're going to pick back up once the Champions League, Champions Cup matches start, and then into the MLS season.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you can catch us on Spotify. I think Google Podcast is going away. So wherever you can catch us, wherever you can hear your podcasts, give us a like.
If I remember how to get it on all of that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We're definitely on YouTube.
Yeah.
That much I can 100% guarantee.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah.
I listen to us on Spotify. So.
Yeah.
When I listen back to our episodes, so I know we're on Spotify. I think I remember having issues with Apple Podcasts, and I was never able to really get us on there for some reason, but I'll try again. We'll see.
We'll figure it out. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll try to record again next time when we have our season opener and everything. So we'll see you then.
See ya.